Welcome to TruthStream. I'm here once again with Kym from Shanti Living Wellness. And she's back for an update and a little bit of clarity, and we'll go into a few different topics on that. So, Kym, thanks for joining me once again. And sometimes, I just got to jump in and do a video. Scott will do that too sometimes, where he'll do a show without me, whatever. But this is kind of like one of those time is of the essence. We need to get the word out and a bit of a recap. So anyway, without further ado, Kym, welcome back to TruthStream.
Thanks for having me back.
Of
So
course.
yeah, this is talking about the Shanti Balance Lifestyle and Metabolic Reset Program. And we were originally going to start March 1st, but we are now on March 7th. And I am wanting to start it during the week of the spring equinox. So starting our first Zoom meeting, which will be an intro meeting, will be on Friday, March 22nd. And just giving more people time to sign up for the program, because that was part of the challenge for people, is they didn't have enough time to sign up and get their finances together. So we're just giving it a little more time.
Nice.
So I can go over a brief review of the program.
Yeah, and while you pull that up, both Scott and I, just to let the viewers know, we have started. There's recipes in there, and there's things there's either proteins or vegetables or fruits that you start learning about, and what you should take, what you shouldn't take, the effect of sugar, dairy, breads, etc. And so you start kind of curtailing what you're eating in advance a little bit once you know about this stuff. And so that's what we tried, both Scott and I. And I'm already, and I haven't fully started. I'm already down 14 pounds, and I'm keeping it off. As part of that's still the intermittent fasting, but I Kym, just real quick before you start, tell people maybe a bit about just that. You've tried all kinds of different resets or programs or etc. And
Yeah.
the reason that you're focusing on this is for a very specific reason, because it works. So anyway, maybe start there.
Yeah, it does work. So I have basically, for most of my adult life, have tried just about every single diet under the sun. I've seen both sides of my family. With my mom's side, dad's side of the family, struggle with obesity and struggle with their weight, and from poor lifestyle choices, poor food choices. And this diet, it's not a diet, it's a program. It's a lifestyle program. It's a healthy lifestyle program. And I was skeptical at first. I was skeptical about the intermittent fasting, and it's actually worked for me though. And it helped me. I did this program about 3 years ago, and I lost more inches than weight, but I've been able to keep the weight and the inches off. And it creates this lifestyle that you just feel better, especially with the intermittent fasting. And for some people, it's kind of, they freak out with that intermittent fasting, but once you get into the groove of it, it really works. And when you kind of fall off of that intermittent fasting, it's like, oh, I need to get back into that. So
Yeah. Well, I will say that once you start learning what you're putting in your body and the portions that you really need, and you're watching the results, and why I did this and why Scott did this as well is, you want to test this out just to feel how these things affect you. And for me, I've had a lot of allergies in my life, and I noticed that when I started putting certain foods back into my system, it was immediately like, oh my gosh, that's where the reaction came from. So it's pretty amazing just to, figure that stuff out. And then it makes you organically want to go back, or want to eat certain foods that make you feel much better instead of worse. And so that's what I noticed already, in just the time that I've kicked the tires, if you will.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
yeah,
go
so go
over
ahead, please.
there. So it's a 10-week program, and something to think about if you have aches and pains, if you're feeling tired all the time, or you need to lose weight, if you have allergies, brain fog, don't like going to the gym, but you want to feel better. This program is a formula to be healthy. So this enables you to become the healthiest version of yourself.
Nice.
And being healthy should be easy. but we've had challenges with how our foods have been hijacked and genetically modified. Processed and fast foods have been designed to create addictions. Our foods are lacking in nutrient density and leaving us undernourished. We are overstressed and overstimulated with distractions. We are lacking in sleep, and we are very inflamed.
Indeed.
So that can lead to all of these health issues of high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, high cholesterol, cancer, autoimmune disease, obesity, and overweight. And all of these health challenges can all be prevented with the proper lifestyle and nutrition. So our society really has not been taught how to be healthy because of our foods being hijacked. But just like with nature, our bodies hold timeless wisdom. The body is intelligent and is always repairing itself. We have been told otherwise with big pharma influences and programming. And this Shanti Balance Metabolic Reset offers value versus medical fees. You can lose anywhere from 20 to 30 pounds in 4 to 6 weeks, and you're losing unhealthy fat. And the unhealthy fat is where your toxins are being stored. So we're eliminating those toxins from the body. And then when you compare over-the-counter drugs and prescription drugs, that can cost $1,000+ a month, depending on where you're at with your imbalances and the drugs that you're on. But what you learn along the way in this program will give you so much value. And to me, that's priceless.
Yeah, and on that point, I think what I really noticed is when you go out to restaurants, you don't really know, what are they cooking. If you get you know, a nice meal with chicken or beef, are they really going out of their way and getting you grass fed? What are the oils that they're cooking with? These are things I honestly, before this, I really didn't think about. I just thought, okay, I'm going to go to a Thai restaurant and eat something I like. And it's not all Thai restaurants. We just don't know the MSGs. We don't know the oils that they're using. We don't know the quality of the meat. I mean, are they getting organic chicken? I mean, likely
Right.
not. And so what this is having you do is take accountability for the quality of the meats, the vegetables, and your fruits that you're putting in your body. And if you do that, you start looking at things in a completely different perspective.
Exactly. So many of the meats in restaurants, especially if it's not farm to table type of restaurant, is going to be genetically modified chickens, meats, all of that. Same thing with the vegetables and the oils. All these oils are rancid, and if you're eating fried foods, it's been oils that have been reused over and over. MSG, I am terribly allergic to MSG, and it's interesting as a kid when we'd go out to Chinese restaurants or even as an adult eating Thai food and they use MSG, I get really, really sick. And as a kid, no one could understand why I was getting so sick after eating these foods. So yeah, it's pretty crazy that all of these toxic chemicals are being put into our foods and making us sick. And a lot of people are not aware of what these foods are doing to us. So
Yeah, because if you think you're eating healthy, but then you're either preparing it with, and a lot of this reset is sugars, dairy, breads, a lot of those things have been compromised. And the other thing, just talk real quickly about why we don't want to use why we're trying to get rid of those fats. I mean, you talked about that earlier, but in order for the body to reset, it's really important to not put more fats or the wrong fats in the body, right?
So with the 6-week program, we are eliminating the majority of fats. Coconut oil, organic coconut oil is okay to use in moderation, but we're trying to push the fats out of the body and the toxins with those fats so we can rebuild the body and then reintroduce healthy fats when our body has eliminated the toxins and the fats. So it's a little bit of a process and it's not totally easy to do, but that's why if we do this as a group in a community, we can support each other and you get guidance. And, some people may go through some withdrawals and but it's only temporary. It's very short. And once you get over that hump, you feel so much better and you have so much more energy. So
Right. Okay. Well, please continue.
yeah, so the 10 weeks will include weekly Zoom meetings with Q&A. And those Zoom meetings will be recorded. So right now I'm looking at doing most of those meetings on Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then each week we will be covering a different health topic. So that will be our healthy lifestyle upgrades. And you will have access to weekly yoga and guided meditation recordings that I will be offering. And then we will be doing a community page and where we can kind of get together and support each other, and you can ask questions here as well. So it's all about guidance, support, and community.
And folks, when you do reach out to Kym, maybe let her know if there's a certain social media you use, because she's still putting together where specifically to put the community page. Is that correct?
Not everyone's a fan of Facebook, which,
Right.
I get.
Right.
We'll figure as we go along.
Okay.
So there's a couple of phases that we do in this program, and there's the preloading, which is for the first week, and that is kind of an introductory and to the full program, but you're also slowly eliminating inflammatory types of foods, which are dairy and sugar, bread, gluten, alcohol. So it's a slow, steady process. So we don't do it all at once, so you don't go through those crazy withdrawals. And then you'll also be learning some introduction to Ayurveda, which will be a part of this program as well, using some Ayurvedic techniques to assist you and look at your body type and your constitution, because we are not a one size fits all. We're all different and unique, and looking through the lens of Ayurveda can assist you along with this program. So after that first week, we have 2 days of loading, and here you are doing fat loading, and it's a healthy fat loading, and that's just to prepare your body for the next 6 weeks. And then the release phase is for 6 weeks, where you are eliminating fats. Again, you can use a little bit of coconut oil, but all the other fats, avocados, butter, ghee, olive oil, you don't want to use for those 6 weeks. And again, it's a very short term.
And
And then after
I was going to say the cooking, which the cooking is, if you're not using oils, can you just kind of let people know?
Yeah, so
That's
it's funny. The key here with the cooking is using water, steam, but lots of spices. Using a whole slew of spices is going to make your food taste amazing. And the food tastes really good. It's so clean. And sometimes I go back to using oils. I like ghee, I like coconut oil. Those are my main sources for cooking, but I sometimes prefer using the steam with spices. It just tastes so much better to me. So it's just something that it takes a little bit of a process to do that, but it's fine. And you can also bake. You can do a little bit of coconut oil if you, for instance, if you want to do like sweet potato fries. It's not in the recipe book, but it is a hack that you can use, and it's something that you would want to do in moderation. But sweet potato fries drizzled with a little bit of coconut oil and a little bit of sea salt and cinnamon, and it's very tasty.
so yeah, if you do join, please feel free to ask him about certain hacks, because she's been able to
I'm the
navigate.
master actor.
She'll find a way, if she can, to enjoy something that may not be in the book that you receive, the manual that you
And I'm
receive.
actually going to create an extended recipe book from this, because there's a lot of different things. Again, it's not a one size fits all. The other thing too that can be a big question for people is coffee okay? Coffee is okay on this program, but you want to make sure it's from a clean source, and you don't want to use cream or sugar in your coffee.
Right.
So, and that's something that we can go over at another time. But yeah, coffee is okay. So we've got the 6 weeks of release, and then after the release, the body is nice and clean, and then we slowly ease into the maintenance for 3 weeks, and then you're slowly reintroducing the foods that you've eliminated. So seeing if you have a reaction or not, and slowly reintroducing healthy fats, and just this here is where the awareness of how foods will affect you may or may not affect you.
Very good. And oh yeah, there you go.
So it's not just about counting calories, it's about nutrient density. It's not just about what you eat, but when you eat as well. You will be looking at your own constitution to assist in finding balance and harmony. And this is where the intermittent fasting comes. So it's 2 meals a day. So you'll be eating like a mid-morning type of meal, and you'll be eating an evening type of meal. So You want to fast anywhere between 12 and 16 hours. And between that 6 hour window is when you'll be eating your foods. And you want to
Or
not
yeah.
processed foods, the junk foods, because they are inflammatory. So
So what time, like normally, I mean, if you eat, it's usually between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. ish, right? There's like kind of an 8 hour window, and then you have
that
this.
8 hour, 6 to 8 hour windows. So yeah, it takes a little practice too, and it's a little process where you can ease into it that first couple of weeks for the fasting. Because again, not everyone is used to that. And I know when I first did it, I was like, whoa, this is really hard. But then after a couple of weeks, it's really easy. And the idea is to eat your last meal before 6, 7 p.m. You want to eat at least 3 hours before you go to bed. And that's just
Right.
to help with food assimilation and help with better sleeping as well.
Right. And if someone is on a swing shift or, graveyard or whatever, of course, shift your meals according to, as long as you're having the roughly 16 hours that you're not eating is the point.
Kind of, yeah. But I mean, it's also, we can get into cortisol levels and all of that and making sure that you're getting enough sleep. But
Right.
that's more detailed, but
And they could
it's
talk to you about that type of stuff too.
doable. All right, so the 10 weeks of lifestyle upgrades, these are the topics that we'll be covering. And it's the first week is Intro to Ayurveda, and then daily routines to support your individual constitution, mindfulness with meditation and gentle yoga, breath work, benefits of intermittent fasting, optimizing digestion, better sleep, the nervous system, healthy home, and rejuvenation. So all of this is to support you in this journey and to live a healthier lifestyle.
Nice.
So the question is, are you willing to transform and change how you are showing up in the world? And then here is the discount for the TruthStream followers. And this is a huge savings for a limited time only. We're now doing 2 tiers, and you've got the premium or the all-in. And so the difference between those, with the premium, you won't be getting a welcome kit, which has a bunch of fun little surprises in it for you to assist you in this process. And also the private consultations will not be in that premium.
Gotcha. Well, there you go. Is there anything else that you feel you've missed that you want to make sure, how people reach out to you? How do they? Yeah. So here we go. Go ahead, please.
So you can contact me at shantilivingwellness@gmail.com. Just send me an email and I will respond to that as soon as I can. So again, it's all about creating a healthy lifestyle, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, creating community and staying strong during these challenging times.
There you go, folks. So yeah, we'll have all the links below, and some people may not see these links because we do hear that. Rumble's an interesting social media site. Sometimes it's under an ad underneath, and people don't see it. So, but there is Kym's information right on the screen. And tell them one more time what your email is, just in case.
shantilivingwellness@gmail.com. SHANTI living LIVING wellness@gmail.com.
Yeah, and that way you guys can reach out to her, ask questions, any concerns that you might have.
And so there's also a video where I go into more detail, so you can attach the link to that video where it does break the program down a lot more. And again, some people do freak out with some of the protocols, but it's easy. Once you get into it, it's super easy. And beginning may not be easy, but if you're doing it as a group and you're getting coached and guidance and being accountable with a group of people, that makes it easier to be in a community. So
Yeah. And
all
there's
of that's
there's certain portions that you have of meat and vegetables, but then there's some other vegetables that are water based, and you can, eat a lot more of those. So, and then if people really do need to snack, which is not really part of it, but I would say, because it might be a little bit, oh my gosh, what am I going to do if well, there's cucumber. What can they snack on?
celery and cucumbers. Again, it's going to depend too on your constitution, because certain constitutions will have that need to want to eat more. And you can kind of find some hacks once we figure out what your constitution is. We can look at the hacks for that. But, eventually you do want to kind of taper off a little bit. You ease into it and then taper off, and then you see the full benefits. So
there you go.
Yeah.
All right. We'll hang out after. Thanks, everybody. Reach out to Kym, and Scott and I will be doing it as well. So we're all doing it together. And I know I'll be on the Zoom meetings as much as I can be for the Fridays at 10 a.m., right? Is that when they're going to be? Cool. All right. Take care. All the links are below. Cheers.